Well, tonight's result is certainly not the one we had hoped for. The people are never wrong.
This was more than just the end of an era. Stephen Harper is the first and only permanent leader the Conservative Party of Canada has ever had. Now party members are trying to figure out something that in over a decade they have never had to contemplate. What is the Conservative Party without Stephen Harper?
Now, some things are sacred for the Conservative Party, like promising to lower taxes or embrace free trade. But this leadership race has shown that there are other issues up for discussion.
The growth of conservatism in Canada, our electoral support, has been largely, not exclusively, but largely by our penetration of immigrant voters.
Under Harper, immigration levels went up. He wanted more immigrants that could help power Canada's economy, and he wanted their votes. But he also made it easier to kick some people out of Canada.
We will and have revoked the citizenship of people who are convicted of terrorist offenses.
Now, how to approach immigration is a major debate.
Our immigration policy should be tied on our best interests as a country.
I want to make sure that they accept our Canadian values.
And you can do it in a way that's balanced and focused at public safety. And if we do that, we'll win. If we do it wrong, we'll lose.
We asked 3 of Stephen Harper's former cabinet ministers where it could all take the party. Jason Kenney, former immigration minister, now trying to unite Conservative political parties in Alberta. Former Defence and Justice Minister Peter MacKay comes from the Progressive Conservative side of the party. And Michelle Rempel, who still serves as an MP and Conservative critic for immigration. Kenney has publicly called out Kelly Leitch's plan to screen for Canadian values, but he says it's unreasonable to suggest there's a bigger problem with the tone of the leadership race.
If you look at Europe or the United States or Australia, you'll see political parties with elected representatives who are xenophobic, who are opposed to immigration. We don't have that in Canada.
Still, MacKay says the wrong tone on this issue could hurt the party.
Canada has always been seen and will continue to be seen as a beacon, as a welcoming place. We're in danger, in my view, if you stray too far from that narrative.
This is where compassion gets difficult.
Rempel says it's not enough for any political party to simply say they care about refugees. She says they also have to ask questions about security screening, how people will find work, and be able to get language training.
It is not compassionate for a government to bring 25,000 people here and have no plan for integration.
For supply management, I actually think this deal is a very important deal.
The way Canada manages the supply and price of dairy, eggs, and poultry has big economic implications. And it's got Donald Trump's attention.
Canada, what they've done to our dairy farm workers is a disgrace.
Right now, farmers buy the right to produce a certain amount of product and in exchange get to sell it at a set, stable price. Just one candidate in this race is ready to get rid of Canada's supply management system, saying it will save Canadian consumers money, while the others are pledging to protect Canadian farmers.
We must abolish supply management. That's a cartel.
You don't start off negotiations by unilaterally surrendering an entire section of our economy.
If they're coming after our farmers, why are you offering them up on a silver platter?
MacKay says dumping supply management could scare off some of the Conservatives' key voters.
The majority of our seats currently and going forward are very much in the rural parts of Canada. There is a danger in looking negatively at supply management.
Rempel seems cautious too. She says it's not just up to the new leader.
I do think that our membership is going to have a large say on how we approach this issue.
But Kenney seems open to change.
Well, we're one of the only developed countries in the world with a system like this. I think it's healthy that Maxime Bernier has introduced this as an idea. We shouldn't have subjects that are beyond debate in a lively modern democracy.
Now, you asked about one particular family planning issue. I think you know very well, we all know very well how divisive that issue is.
The word Stephen Harper managed not to say there is abortion. Domestically, it was a non-starter under Harper.
Our government's going to do everything we can to keep from reopening that particular debate.
Though he did make other small gestures to appeal to social conservatives, like agreeing not to fund abortions internationally. But will Harper's approach to socially conservative issues continue?
As Prime Minister, I would maintain that commitment to my caucus and the party that these issues wouldn't be reopened.
Our friends, social conservative, they have a place in our party. And if they want to table a bill on abortion, let's have that debate.
Michelle Rempel has faced off with social conservatives in her party. She pushed the Conservatives to drop the traditional definition of marriage from party policy, making it officially neutral on same-sex marriage.
I declare the motion adopted.
She says she's not concerned about where more discussion would lead.
The one thing that I'm proud about with my party is that we have had space to have these conversations.
Kenny, a social conservative, says he believes Stephen Harper was right not to take initiative on contentious moral questions, though he says there still needs to be room for careful debate.
It requires a certain degree for prudent expression of freedom of expression within a caucus, within a party. I think we've got that just about right.
McKay says whatever happens, he doesn't believe it will lead to any big changes.
Many of these subjects have, for all intents and purposes, been decided.
Regardless of who wins, change is coming to the Conservative Party. The question is how dramatically it evolves from Stephen Harper's vision. Catherine Cullen, CBC News, Ottawa.